Recently, a client asked me, Brenden, what do you think about Bryan Johnson's Blueprint supplement line? And for those who don't know, Bryan Johnson invests over $2 million annually into longevity enhancement. He created Blueprint, which is a design that he follows every single day in order to reverse his biological age, increase his health span, and improve his biomarkers. And he created this supplement line, which makes things more convenient and inexpensive for people to follow the supplement protocol on his Blueprint program because they don't have to buy over 30 different supplements and source them from different places. They could just get them all in one place. And a client was asking me what I think of this supplement. Well, I think it has two main problems with it, and in this video, I'm going to address what those problems are. But first, I want to say that I have no problem with Bryan Johnson. I think he's in this for the right reasons. He seems like an honest guy with integrity. I just think that two of the supplements which he includes in his product are not that great. So let's jump right into it, all right, guys? So the first supplement is red yeast rice. Now, this supplement contains a statin, and for those who don't know what a statin is, it's a substance which inhibits HMG-CoA, which is an enzyme in the liver which impedes cholesterol synthesis in the liver. So you get reduced cholesterol synthesis. But the problem with statins are that they can reduce insulin sensitivity, lower testosterone, and they can cause muscle pain and weakness. Now, this latter aspect can be improved by supplementing with CoQ10 because statins inhibit the synthesis of CoQ10. But the problem with red yeast rice in particular is it contains a specific statin called monocolin K, and this statin has been associated with liver and kidney injury. Okay, and it also contains citrinin, which is also associated with liver and kidney injury. And this is probably why red yeast rice supplements have many case studies documenting liver and kidney injury. Okay, now it's not that all of these supplements will contain these two toxic substances, but some of them might. And if your red yeast rice supplement isn't being tested for these two things, then you really don't know, and you're kind of playing Russian roulette with your health. So I don't recommend this supplement due to that reason, but also because there's superior alternatives that you could put in this product. For example, citrus bergamot. This substance has been shown to lower cholesterol levels and LDL levels, and also raise HDL, by the way, in human trials, and it's been studied up to 3 months, and it's been found to be completely safe. Now, this works through a few different mechanisms. First of all, citrus bergamot has flavonoids and polyphenols. First, the flavonoids have been shown to inhibit HMG-CoA like a statin, so it reduces cholesterol synthesis in the liver, and this occurred in one study within 6 weeks. But it has another mechanism to where it brings the LDL receptors to the cell surface in the liver, which basically means that the LDL binds to these and gets destroyed. That's how PCSK9 inhibitors work, okay? Now, getting into the polyphenols. These work through a different mechanism. I actually have this written because I keep forgetting what the thing is called. They inhibit pancreatic cholesterol ester hydrolase. And this is what breaks down cholesterol esters into free cholesterol in the intestines. So it basically inhibits the absorption of cholesterol in the intestine, but through a different mechanism than drugs like ezetimibe do, okay? And so the overall result is a lower cholesterol levels. Now, remember what I said about statins. They're not great. Well, the thing with citrus bergamot is that, first of all, it has 0 case studies documenting liver injury, kidney injury, or any injury for that matter. And second of all, it improves insulin sensitivity. It doesn't reduce it. And that just makes citrus bergamot a much better choice, in my opinion, than red yeast rice. Now, getting into the next problem that I have. Oh, by the way, before we do that, I just want to mention Vunjin, which is a tripeptide. It's actually the blood vessel bioregulator peptide. It's a Khavinson's peptide, and I covered this on my channel before, but it increases the differentiation and proliferation of mesenchymal stem cells. And it also reduces the senescence secretory-associated phenotype, which is basically a cellular senescence process which can occur in blood vessels, which results in their aging, arterial plaque buildup, narrowing of the arteries, and also this peptide can decrease LDL levels. Okay, so it's just a really good peptide for the blood vessels. It was able to restore the actual elasticity and the size of the blood vessels back to the level of a young person when it was administered to an older person. And I cover a lot of this in my Peptide Mastery course. Another really cool thing about Vunjin is that it's been shown to reverse biological age in humans, and both middle-aged and elderly patients, and by 8 years in only a matter of 1 month, which is pretty incredible. And I even tried to message everybody who's on the Vunjin Pace leaderboard. This is a leaderboard which measures the rate of biological aging. And Bryan Johnson participates on this leaderboard. He's in place 3 at the time of this video, I believe. And I messaged these guys. I was just trying to share the power of peptides with them, because if they're not utilizing them, they're definitely leaving a lot on the table, you know? And so, to my shock, nobody was using peptides. Now, I even have a client, which I'm currently coaching, and he reached out to some of these guys, including one guy who's actually selling an anti-aging and longevity course. And he doesn't even know what a peptide is, so it's pretty bad. You guys really need to check out my free peptide mastery course on my website. It will do you a lot of good. I go into extreme levels of detail of how these peptides actually work and how they reverse biological aging, according to the DNA methylation tests like the Horvath clock or the Vunjin Pace, which you guys are using on the leaderboards. And I go into so much detail that a molecular biologist would really appreciate it. So definitely check it out. You're not going to find that level of quality anywhere else on the entire internet, I can assure you of that. But let's move along here and get into the next supplement in Blueprint, which I do not recommend, which is ashwagandha. And that's because its second most common metabolite, which is withanone, it actually forms non-liable adducts with DNA. So it binds to DNA and it really strongly, and it exerts a toxic effect over time. Now, this seems to be able to be countered if your levels of glutathione are pretty high, although it's not entirely certain, okay? The evidence on this is a little bit, it's not all there, but it does show potential for DNA damage. And for that reason, I can't recommend ashwagandha, but it has some other concerns. For example, it manipulates the 5-HT1A and 5-HT2A receptors in a way that's kind of similar to SSRIs. Now, for those who have used SSRIs, they work by desensing the 5-HT1A autoreceptor, which causes an increased serotonin release postsynaptically. And sometimes this can even last and persist after discontinuation of the SSRIs. And it's somewhat kind of associated with a condition known as post-SSRI sexual dysfunction, just to let you know, which is also, by the way, one of the mechanisms by which creatine can hinder libido in some men. I have the only video on the entire internet which covers that on my channel as well. Go ahead and watch it if you'd like. I tried reaching out to Chris Masterjohn about this multiple times, told him he could even take my idea, use it for the side effect article that he had for creatine, and he just completely ignored me, guys. So anyway, moving along though. Another issue with ashwagandha is that it is also associated with acute liver injury in some cases. Now, I think that's related to the DNA damage potentially, but it could be something else. There's a series of case studies showing it. And another issue would be that it increases your thyroid hormone output. Now, this might be good for a lot of people because a lot of people are deficient in thyroid hormones, especially if somebody's following keto, for example, because it decreases thyroid hormones quite significantly. But not everybody is deficient, and if you're already like kind of borderline and you take ashwagandha, you could easily end up hyperthyroid. So I just wouldn't recommend it for anybody without actually doing a blood test of thyroid hormones, such as your thyroid hormone globulin, your T4, your T3, free T4, free T3, and reverse T3. That would give you a really good understanding of how your thyroid's acting, because you don't want to become hyperthyroid, guys. That's not very good either. Now, lastly, let's see. I'd like to cover how Bryan Johnson's, these are lesser concerns. He has B vitamins in this product, but they're in such small quantities that they're not really going to do anything. Like, they're around the RDA, but we both know that the RDA has been established as like an absolute minimum baseline to prevent you from dying. It's not like optimal levels. And B vitamins are pretty benign. You can dose them pretty highly because they're water soluble. Although there's a couple that you may not want to like megadose, and that would be riboflavin. Can potentially cause photosensitivity if you go like in the high hundreds of milligrams. And also vitamin B6 can potentially cause like nerve issues if you go up to like 50 to 100 milligrams or so in some people over a long period of time. But the problem is that the B vitamins in this supplement are just so low that you could increase them by a factor of 10 and still be kind of low compared to what other B supplements on the market contain. But it is a good idea to provide these B supplements in your product because they just provide overall mitochondrial support, antioxidant support. They'll counter potential elevations in homocysteine levels, which could have cardiovascular benefits. But if you're going to include these B vitamins at much higher quantities, I would really like to see the level of riboflavin higher than your other B vitamins because as we exercise, riboflavin gets used up quite significantly by our mitochondria in the electron transport chain. I believe it's 1 and 4 that it mainly affects. But anyway, it uses up a lot more than the other B vitamins, so it makes sense to dose that higher in your product. The problem is that almost no B vitamin supplements on the market today have a higher riboflavin ratio than your other B vitamins, and I don't know why, but this is one thing you should do. And lastly, I was looking at the levels of lithium in this product, and it's only 1 milligram, so I'm not sure what that's going to do. Like, you probably won't even notice it. It's like a really microdose of lithium. But I'm not a big fan of lithium anyway because it can cause kidney injury long term. It could lower testosterone levels. And really, if you don't need lithium for like your mood, then I'm just not sure why it's included in the product. Maybe you could let me know. But anyway, that sums up the review on Bryan Johnson's Blueprint supplement. I think it would be great if he would just get rid of the red yeast rice, substitute it for citrus bergamot potentially. Oh, and by the way, the polyphenols in citrus bergamot, they can be enhanced in bioavailability 2.5 times if you encapsulate them in liposomes. So that's great. And you could also add Vunjin to the product, either in addition to or alternatively to the citrus bergamot. And then I would just remove the ashwagandha completely, increase the B vitamins, make sure the riboflavin is higher than the other B vitamins. And honestly, I'd get rid of the lithium. I'm not sure why it's there as a microdose, but it's not a big deal as 1 milligram, but I just don't see a reason for it in the product. And yeah, if you did those things, I would personally buy this product, and I would recommend it to my clients as well. Like I said, one of my clients was just asking me about it because he wanted to get it like his mother and I think his grandmother on some type of supplement. But buying 30 supplements, is crazy for the average person. Nobody wants to take 30 pills or 80 pills for that matter. So having a single supplement or just a couple which have all of your needs in it is highly convenient and beneficial. And I would just love to support the product. It's just that, those couple supplements in it are just no good in my opinion. So I hope you see this video, Bryan, and I hope you consider my input on this because, man, I'd love to see a great product out there. And it's close, very close, but I think we could do better. So that sums up this video, guys, and so people call me the world's leading expert in peptide science, and it's because I have covered peptides more extensively than anybody else online. I was the first to bring out Vunjin as the peptide which can improve mesenchymal stem cells differentiation, proliferation, and delay their senescence. I was the first person to make the largest write-up on the internet on the Polyenals peptide, which is backed up by over 100 scientific citations. And I was the first person to make a peptide mastery course, which is covering all 40 of the Khavinson's peptides, plus 29 additional peptides in really high quality, scientifically accurate depth, backed by and supported by 300 scientific citations, actually over that, which was all included in the description sections along with the transcripts in each module, bonuses like a quick reference guide, cheat sheets, protocol, PDFs, and also 2 new bonus modules, one of which is an anti-aging and longevity module, which combines highly synergistic peptide strategies with relatively unknown and underutilized but highly effective supplements in combination with lifestyle factors, which can accelerate your biological age reduction efforts. And also a module on ultimate physical performance and athleticism, which combines highly synergistic peptide strategies with relatively unknown but highly effective supplements and devices and lifestyle interventions, which can take your performance to new heights. So if you want to get the course, just check the link in the description. I also have a completely free course, and it includes like 7 video modules, I believe now, and a PDF, and totally free. Check it out and see what you think. Thanks for watching.